And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge here at Road America. I'm SSR Mayhem, and thank you for tuning in to this evening's or tonight's action wherever you are in the world. We got 18 competitors here tonight. RZM Sean, last week's winner back at MEA, certainly starting second against Barcode tonight. Barcode, with the unfortunate circumstances late at MEA, ended up making him not get that win. And then we go into tonight as well. The team of Speed Demons leading the team points, 71 points coming to the night, but Convictions has not rang the bell. So that being said, it looks like Anonymous is going to have to try to keep the team as high as he can in the points for the team championship, as RZX is right behind him in the standings. So we got 34 laps, 33 of racing laps here tonight, and it should be a good one once again. So we're going to get ready for everybody to go racing. And we're going to get back to the race scene once JJ Reds readies up. And once again, the MEA rules and regulations. In party, in all of MEA, it's completely different from, the race etiquette on track, or I should say race procedures. Better word for a lack of, or a better, for a lack of a better word. The drivers will have to take a pace lap tonight. When they get to off the final turn, they'll slow it down to 40 miles per hour before the green. We're still waiting on JJ Reds. He is the race official for MEA tonight, so possibly managing a couple of parties real quick for us. Poping as well, getting locked in place. So everybody is pretty much ready to go. We're just waiting for a race official to ready up. What seems to be possibly handling some business. Still waiting on JJ Reds. I would assume there's something going on race official wise. And we just got word as well that Fan, who is JDMX Culture's teammate for RZX, or not RZX, XRS, I do apologize, was moving, so his current Wi-Fi wasn't able to uphold the connection, at least for this week. So unfortunate for that team. And that's the thing about the team championship. You got two teammates. Both of those teammates points combined in their championship. And the team points and the team points are different from the individuals championship points. So when they average, so instead it goes from a 40 to 1. So if the race winner, you know, for individuals championship gets 250 points, the winner for the team side of it, though, will get 40 points. So if Barco wins and he's on a team, he'll have 250 for the win. If he's on a race team, though, he'll get 40 points for the race team side of it, and then that second driver's points will also get added to it. Still waiting on JJ Reds, not sure what's going on. Just stay tuned and we'll be right back. All right, so we're getting ready to go now. Everything's set to go. They were taking care of the race communications, which would be the racing parties. We were trying to separate a few parties so that the drivers were able to at least have some communications. The one rule that we have for the league is that the drivers do understand the race procedures going into the start of the race. Really, the hardest point of the race is just the pace lap. So as long as everybody understands those specific rules, then we are good. The thing is, we have a couple of drivers this week that had missed last week, and we want to make sure that they're up to date. So you just always want to make sure that the drivers understand all the rules and not just, you know, going in blind hoping that they have an idea of what's going on, because that's just not good business for the league. It's not good business for the drivers, and we don't want them to be any more confused than they have to be. But here we are, 18 drivers on the racetrack for round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge here at Road America. Let's go through the field for the starting lineup here tonight. Starting on the front row is last week's leader of most laps, ESV Barcode, after a heck of a battle, just trying to get back to the front after a late issue. He was not able to get back to the front to win the race, was able to finish second overall. And the guy behind him who won last week's race will start alongside him today. That's RZM Sean in the second spot. In the second row, it's OTR Nominus. Very impressive performance last week at Le Mans. He's going to be started alongside Diamond 2014 with a top 5 last week. Now, in the third row, for the first time this season, missing last week, it's going to be SSR Twig in the 5th spot alongside RZX Neo in that 6th position. Neo, a newcomer here at MEA and a rookie in the series, and his first time ever competing competitively in our organization, so good luck to him tonight. It's going to be his teammates, RZX Benz and RZX JJ Reds. Now, those two drivers are actually on a team representing RZX. The teams can only consist of 2 drivers, so though that these 3 are together, Benz and JJ are the ones accumulating points for that particular team. Behind them, it's going to be for the first time FCT Cornell, or Corleone, alongside SSR Red Eagle. It's Scarletti and SSR Quinn behind them. And then it's LAR Reward with JDMX Culture's teammate Fan, not able to make it here tonight. We did talk about that earlier on. Some moving things didn't work out, connection issues, just got to kind of wait till next week. But those guys got points last week together, so JDMX Culture going to try to tag on as many points as he can for his team. Then it's VNT Rosenquist and JSC Fab 91. And then rounding out the field is RZM Poping and FCT Hard. And FCT Hard making his first appearance this season as well. Missing last week. Actually, both him and his teammate Corleone both had missed last week, and they're both representing a team category as well. So Poping and Hard missing qualifying, but we'll start back in that 17th and 18th spot. Let's go back up through the field for the start of this race as they come off turn number, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's turn 11. And I have my chat up tonight for anybody that's tuning in, so feel free to talk to me throughout this race. But anyways, 6-week season. We already got one down in the books. We are in our second race here in the Prototype Challenge, season number 5. ESV Barcode coming back to defend a championship. Has yet to win after week 1's debacle. But here we go. It's ESV Barcode. It's RZM Sean on the front row. They hit the line, and we are green flag racing here at Road America in the MEA Prototype Challenge as Barcode will take the lead heading into turn number 1. And a tough start for the back of the pack, probably out of gear. If you're not in the right gear, you're not going to take off the line fast enough. But the front of the pack, for the most part, everyone pretty much stuck together, and they're now single file coming off turn number 2. So just like qualifying, it's Barcode Sean, Anonymous Diamond Man, and I believe that's Neo who got in front of SSR Twig, and Twig actually lost a few spots at the start of this race. He went from 5th to 7th. He's got his teammate SSR Red Eagle right behind him. Now Twig last week had missed the race, so Eagle was able to keep, or sorry, I don't know if I said that right, but Twig missed the race. Eagle was here. Eagle was able to accumulate 32 points for the race team, which puts them at the mid-pack in the team championships. Right now, they're going to need every bit of ounce of positions if these two want to win the team championship, because right now, they're trailing behind a few teams, and they got a lot of work to do. So starting here today, they're going to need to get the job done, and it looks like the pack is starting to split up pretty quick. However, it's RZX JJ Reds putting pressure on RZX Neo now for the 5th spot. 5th place battle right now between two teammates, team owner JJ Reds. JJ with the same scheme except a different color this week. I know he talked to me about changing colors, and he said, no, we'll just do a very basic dark color. It looks like a dark gray of some sort. As they come off the final corner, Neo gets a little bit wide off of exit. JJ with a nice run. It looks like he's going to look to the inside. As they go down the front stretch now, JJ not able to get alongside. He's going to get behind him, get back in the race draft. And they'll go into turn number 1. Nose to tail. And it looks like Sean is kept really close with the race leader, Barcode. Now last week, Barcode and Sean battled for a very split moment in the race early on, and Sean overdrove the car kind of aggressively. After kind of swapping between the first 4 turns, Sean would eventually catch back up through the field, but then have other issues. So Le Mans became pretty challenging for all the drivers. We've seen some people have some engine damage, some suspension damage, hitting the curbs wrong. So tonight's going to be a real test of consistency with overall pace, and Sean was pretty fast in qualifying, about 2/10 slower in qualifying. Let's pull up the race map. We'll see how everybody's spreading out. We got some drivers in the pits, however. That's FCT Hard, LAR Rewar, and GSC Fab 91. 3 of the cars that started at the back of the pack already having early troubles. So not sure what had happened, but those drivers definitely at a little bit of a disadvantage. And with the 1 mandatory pit stop, they're probably going to have to take another stop being this early in the race. And oh my gosh, Rosenquist almost lost it off the corner. A great save by the driver, and Coulter's going to get on by, and Rosenquist off the kink gets too, I don't know if he got too wide, but the car got really loose, and in most cases, most drivers would lose the race car, but that was a great save by Rosenquist. Lost about a spot, but that's better than losing more and getting some damage, so no worries about limping around the racetrack as we hop on with RZM Poping already in the top 10 as he chases down SSR Red Eagle for 8th. RZM Poping, a driver that missed qualifying both weeks, I believe last week as well. If not, he had definitely messed up his qualifying, had to come up through the field, had an early issue in that race, went off the racetrack, felt like the car was just not fast enough, but was able to find his way late. And there he goes, door to door with Red Eagle down the mid-straight. Side by side they go. Red Eagle to the inside, Poping on the outside, Poping with the outside pass, and Poping with the power will take over the 8th place spot from Red Eagle, and it looked like Eagle just broke a little bit more than Poping did, and Poping said, I'm not doing that. I'm going to take this position. I got places to be, places to go, and now Eagle is starting to fade behind him as Poping is looking to get into this battle in front of him between RZX Neo and SSR Twig. Now Twig started in the 5th place spot, had lost a couple positions on the start of the race, not sure what had happened, but he is starting to pick them off one at a time, and he's going to have more company the way that Poping's going right now. So I was going to say, I don't know what that was for a moment there. As we stay on board, though, we're going to stay on board with Neo. Neo hits the back bumper of SSR Twig. It doesn't look like it affect either driver. Not sure if that was a spectate glitch for the moment. And Twig looks to the inside of JJ Reds, and he's going to power by the driver and take over the 5th place spot. And Twig back in the top 5. And what a big, big power move by him as JJ looks to battle back to the inside. JJ looks down low, Twig to the outside. They go door to door off turn number 2. It's the Jag against the Mazda, and last week the Jag was very, very strong at Le Mans. They basically took the top 5 spots before 6, and right now the Mazdas are looking very competitive here tonight as JJ Red's trying to make a move back to the inside of Twig. Twig gets too far to the outside, and JJ with the crossover. JJ back to the 5th spot as Twig will concede for 6. That brings RZX Neo back into the picture. And Neo's just looking at this battle right now. He's thinking, come on, keep it up, guys. Keep messing up, keep making those mistakes, because Neo can make an opportunity and make that pass. These two have an issue with one another. Neo looks like he got a great exit, but not a great run. I thought he had the run for the moment. He gets to the inside of Twig. And Twig's actually just hanging on right now. Looks like he's just not very consistent right now up there, battling for a top 5, and he powers back by JJ Reds once again. And JJ made a mistake as well. That brings Twig back into the mix, and Twig, I think, is going to say, I'm going to try to check out of here. I don't want to keep battling. We got guys coming from behind, and well, right now, that's not a battle you want to have if you're still fighting for a top 5. Going into lap number 6 now for these drivers. Mazda showing very strong pace. Now, once again, these cars are not spec forced, so every driver has the build that they have to put on each week, depending which car you're in. They set up those cars and they tune them the way they want to tune them, so that's why you're going to see some cars be stronger on the straights, some cars be stronger in the corners. And it looks like Twig is finally getting out of Dodge and saying, I don't want to be part of that any longer. It's Poping now is putting pressure on the two RZX drivers behind Twig. As we hop on board with RZM Poping. And he's got a new scheme this week as well. Looks like Phoenix has gotten into the paint booth for both of the drivers. Phoenix always putting together swell things. Make sure their drivers look very good on track. And once again, JJ Red's putting pressure on SSR Twig right now. The 5th, 6th, 7th, and soon to be 8th place car battling for those top 10, top 5 spots. As we pull up the race map, bottom left corner of your screen, you're seeing ESV Barcode starting to creep up on a backpack battle. Not sure who those two are. That's going to be ALR Reor battling with FCT Hard. And those cars are going to be going a lap down here very soon. Not what you want to see from those drivers. GSC Fab 91 is a lap down, having more issues in this race. As we stay on board to the battle right here for the moment, we're going to check on Barcode as he gets ready to pass those lap down cars. Again, if you're just tuning in, welcome to round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge here at Road America. I'm SSR Mayhem. Thank you for tuning in as we got a good one here. We got 4-car battle right now for 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. As Twig, JJ Reds, and Neo have been pretty much duking out for these 3 spots. Poping, however, has come from the rear of the field, and he is finding some pace and picking these guys off one at a time. And right now, we got a battle here, and it looks like Poping's going to start putting the pressure on Neo, as JJ's still putting a lot of pressure on Twig, and we're going to look behind the rear view camera of JJ as you see Neo and Poping duking it out for 7th. And if you're JJ, this is what you probably want, because you don't want to be on the defensive end right now. But it doesn't look like that's phased Neo at all. And JJ trying to power himself to the outside. Twig battling back to the inside. And Twig will hang on. Twig goes around off the edge. Twig loses the car, but he hangs on. Poping with a big run down the straight. Poping going for more, and he's going to take over that 5th place spot. Wait just a moment right there. JJ back to the outside. He goes a little wide off the edge. Twig in the background saved the car, but lost tons of momentum. Neo loses the car a little bit off the edge as well. Poping now putting the pressure back on JJ Reds after an awesome run down the front straight after the mistake done by SSR Twig. And that was a big moment right there for JJ. He was right behind Twig when Twig went around. Twig lost the car off the corner. JJ down to the inside, Poping back to the outside now. The Mazda's showing great speed down the straightaways right now, where the Jag has been very good in the corners. But the problem right now is JJ hasn't had any straight line speed, and that's what's been the biggest factor between this battle, especially when he was battling it out with Twig. Now Neo putting the pressure back on Poping now for 6th. And JJ looks... Oh, that's Poping now. Poping with a very aggressive move to the inside. And Poping gonna power himself by. Maybe not just yet. JJ gets back to the door. JJ hits the side of Poping. JJ off into the grass. And Neo's gonna take over the 5th place spot. Poping goes into the grass on the opposite side. SSR Twig now is back in the fight. And we got a 4-car battle once again. And talk about 2 laps of just complete chaos, complete just annihilation of saving these cars from catastrophic damage. Twig, you thought he was out of it, but these 3 drivers in front just won't give an inch, and we got ourselves a battle between these 4 once again. And those are 2 great saves by these 4 different drivers. Twig saving the car from a very tough angle as Poping gets back down to the inside of JJ Reds. Door to door off the corner now. JJ hits the grass slightly. Poping doesn't have anything off the inside corner, and JJ won't cover that spot once again. Meanwhile, RZX Neo, the 5th place car, who's kind of gotten the greatest end of this whole exchange, is starting to run away from these guys. But here comes Poping right back at it once again. JJ to the outside, Poping on the inside. Poping with the power! He will get right back in front of JJ Reds for the 6th spot as they turn into number 1. Now SSR Twig sees that Jag once again, and I'm sure Twig's not going to try to make the same mistake twice. So Neo, 5th, Poping, 6th, 7th will be JJ Reds, and 8th is SSR Twig. Let's go back to our race leader of ESV Barcode. Barcode right now, still up front, still in front of RZM Sean. Sean and looks like Barcode both got past the lap down cars with no problem. As we see them pretty much a little bit faded now. Anonymous still sits in the 3rd spot. Anonymous is starting to get into that lap traffic as well, and doing a really good job of getting another top 5 in him today. Was really good last week at MEA. A lot of work still yet to be done. Diamond Man 2014, he as well is doing a very good job once again this week. All 4 of those drivers kind of in their own world right now, as Neo is now under fire from Poping once again. In the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place battle between RZX Neo, RZM Poping, RZX JJ Reds, and SSR Twig. It hasn't been nothing but a lack of just excitement. Poping with a power move to the outside of Neo, and he's going to take the 5th spot away. And Poping, probably the strongest of the 4 cars, finally getting in front. Starting to get into that rhythm just a little bit right there. And Poping will probably check out after that pass. Oh, Neo missed turn number 1. And that's going to give JJ Reds the opportunity to go back to the inside. Neo is cutting grass right now off of turn 1, and Twig is back on the attack. So now we got a 3-car battle for 6th, 7th, and 8th. It's going to be Twig now to the inside of Neo on the left hanger there. It looks like we might have lost a driver on the racetrack. Load him up. We come back to the side-by-side battle between Neo and Twig. It looks like a little crossover there by Twig. And GSC Fab 91 out of this race. Not sure if that was a disconnect or it's just saying better luck next week, but Fab 91 with the early wreck. Possibly early wreck because he was one of the 3 drivers in pit. As these guys go door to door around the carousel, Twig is going to do some grass cutting as well, and he can hang on to the car. And Neo see? Oh my gosh. And these two just barely getting by on that section. That's been pretty much where everyone's lost the race car throughout this race. So pretty much the battle is no longer existent. Let's go through the field, see what's going on. Looks like we have a 9th and 10th place battle right now. RZX Benz on the attack against SSR Red Eagle for 9th. And look at the power down the front stretch here as Benz gets to the back bumper of Red Eagle. And Eagle now finding the gear, and he's going to get a little bit of ways away. But it looks like the Jag, at least for Benz, has pretty good acceleration off the edge. And then Red Eagle, he's got the straight line speed. So this is our Red Eagle now. Currently runs into that 9th spot over RZX Benz. We just got, it's funny, we just got done talking about both of these drivers' teammates in the other battle between JJ Reds, Neo, and Twig, along with RZM Poping, who really was slicing and dicing, trying to just get through, and they all were having problems. Now we put ourselves on this battle for the moment, as Benz is working on Red Eagle for 9th, a top 10 battle right now in the field. And then you got FCT Corleon and FCT Hard back there in 14th and 15th teammates. 17 drivers remain on the racetrack for the moment. So they come off the final corner, and Benz has all the momentum, but look at Red Eagle trying to cross back over, and he might have some straight line to speak of, and he'll power himself back on by. Eagle getting a little wide in turn number 1. Benz getting a little bit closer to that inside apex line. still going door to door in turn 2. Benz will take that spot right back. And RZX Neo, possibly with some issues. Let's take a look. Neo, who was well ahead of these guys for a while, it looks like he might have just spun out. And they caught up to him. So Neo with an unfortunate situation has now found himself in the back of a 3-car battle with him included, 8th, 9th, and 10th. And if you're Red Eagle, you're probably thinking, dude, like, we just got done battling this guy, and I got his buddy. So Red Eagle going back to work as Benz is starting to pull away. And look at Neo getting to the rear bumper of Eagle. And you're seeing the difference between the two cars, where their strengths are. It seems that every Mazda has been very powerful down the straight. And the Jag's just kind of pretty much countering that with good corner speed and exit acceleration. Once again, if you're just tuning in, this is round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge. You're on board with me, SSR Mayhem, as we see this battle for 9th and 10th between RZX Neo and SSR Red Eagle. Currently the race leader, ESV Barcode, over RZM Sean. As we pull up the race map, you can see how the field is spread out. And it looks like Sean is faded away in the distance. Just a little bit. Sean might be having some problems. Sean was relatively close. Possibly a mistake, possibly lap traffic. Not sure exactly. We'll hop back on with the top 10 battle of 9th and 10th between Eagle and Neo. And if there's anybody you guys would like to see, put it in the comments section so that I can take a look at them and let you know where they are on the racetrack. Eagle and Neo still duking it out, crossing over one another, non-stop battle here. Who's gonna give it? Who's gonna take it? Who's gonna get the better of the other? I think right now, if I'm Neo, I gotta take better opportunities of this midsection, or what is considered to be a midsection, and try to put a little bit of a gap on Eagle, because if he can do that, he's gonna be able to really distance himself enough to where that Mazda's, though its straight line speed is way better, he won't be able to catch back up where it matters most, where his car is a little bit stronger. So Eagle closed in a bit of that gap. Neo's just going to have to maintain himself as well as he can. And I'd say if Eagle doesn't get to him in turn 1, then he's going to have a good opportunity to get by or get away from Eagle. And it looks like Eagle didn't have a good final exit there, so this should be good for Neo. And it looks like that would be the case. So nice little top 10 battle that we were tuned into. It looks like everything's a little spread out at the moment. So let's go through the field as the battles have kind of come to a halt for the moment. So we're riding with race leader ESV Barcode, currently second in the point standings right now. He has led every lap so far in this race. Hasn't really had to worry about much other than some lap traffic. He had Sean behind him for a little while, but hasn't seen him quite, probably for about a handful or so laps, I would say, given the last time we checked on them. Barcode just doing what he does best, and as long as he doesn't have last week's problems, he should be able to hang on to this and get that W today. So that'd be a good first win on the season. He would tie Sean in the points. Speaking of Sean, just now entering turn 1, your current points leader, last week's winner. And you know, we talked about that last week situation. If you weren't with us back at Le Mans, Sean put a lot of pressure on Barcode early in that race, was able to get the race lead. They swapped briefly, and then Sean overdrove the corner, which put him back about 4th, 5th. Sean was able to get back up to 2nd with Shrek, and then something else happened, and then he had to do it all over again. So trying to not go back to that. like we said earlier, but Sean currently running second. Still a ways to go in this race. So we hop on with OTR Anonymous, and Anonymous, his first time ever here in MEA. Technically it's his rookie season for anything. So Anonymous has done a really good job. Had some battles last week. Right now has pretty much been by himself for the majority of the race. And then it's going to be one of Vanquish's favorite people on track, Diamond 2014, currently running in the top 5. Had a top 5 last week at MEA. Has been pretty impressive so far in these first 2 races in the Prototype Challenge. And, you know, Diamond has improved a lot over, you know, the last year and a half here. He's a regular in MEA, and looks like Prototypes have been kind of where he's had a lot more success than other series, but it's good to see him doing well. And like I said, a long way to go, because RZM Poping, this is a very similar situation from last week. RZM Poping was actually chasing down Diamond Man for 4th and just didn't have enough time to get to Diamond Man. So as they're getting close to that halfway point officially, he's actually closing the gap quite significantly between him and Diamond, but still a little ways to go. Diamond Man obviously started in the top 5 from qualifying. Poping had to start from the back, so Poping is going to continue to close that gap the way it seems to be pace-wise as we hop on board with RZX JJ Reg. JJ was in that battle between SSR Twig, RZX Benz, RZX Neo. It wasn't Benz, actually. Well, no, it was Poping. But anyways, he was involved in that 3-4 car battle, and he was the second one to kind of get out of that hole after Poping was able to squeeze through everybody. And JJ is kind of now out there on his own, gets to run a little consistently, and hopefully he'll be able to manage his spot, maybe move a little bit further forward. However, it looks like a battle between Neo and Twig has come back. Or it's Neo and Benz, I'm sorry. It must be pit stops. Yeah, it looks like Twig took a pit stop. Nope. Did we lose Twig? I just saw him on the screen. No, he's in 11th. We'll get to him in a little bit. We're going to hop on and stay on this battle. We're going to talk about both these drivers, Neo and Benz, and RZX Neo, who is a rookie as well, first time ever in MEA, has done a pretty good job here today. Not a great race last week. Last week was very rough for the driver. Benz has shown a lot of strength in these particular style of cars, and you know, you don't normally get to see Ben battling in the top 10 really at all. So it's been very impressive to see Benz have some success here today, and has been moving more forward than backwards. So, but Neo, I'm not sure what had happened there. That could have been, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if Neo got lag punted there by Benz, but they weren't even close. Unless he locked the brakes up. Not sure what happened right there, but we're going to hop on with SSR Red Eagle. Last week got 32 points for his race team without Twig. Has battled inside the top 10 between a couple of the RZX drivers, and this would be the first full-time season for the SSR driver of Red Eagle. It's good to see him in action here in MEA. And then running behind Red Eagle is Scarletti. Scarletti, part of a team with Rosenquist. Currently running in that 10th spot. Haven't seen a lot of action from Scarletti today. Last week was a little bit of a rough one, but looks like it's been a little bit better here today. So currently, not a lot of battling for Scarletti, but out there doing their thing and keeping a top 10. That'd be a big day if it can remain that way. And SSR Twig, we just got done talking about where did he go. It looks like he did make a pit stop. So SSR Twig made a pit stop, ladies and gentlemen. That's why he's currently running in that 11th spot. Was in a battle between Poping, JJ Reds, and Neo. So just trying to recover after a couple little mistakes. We were on board with JJ when we saw Twig lose control of the car. This is actually one of the series we've seen Twig quite a bit in MEA, the Prototype Challenge. We've seen a lot of ups and downs throughout the series for the driver. He's aware of that. But out there, getting back in the groove of things. Good to see Twig running here in MEA. And then teammate SSR Quinn as well. 3 of the SSR drivers, you know, it might be my race team, as some know, but it's been a long time since I've seen that many SSR drivers in MEA. So I'm a happy team owner right now. But Quinn, a lot better this week. He's one of the drivers that had issues last week. Didn't really have a lot of pace. Today looks like driving that side better on the inside of the top 15, right outside the top 10. Then FCT Corleone. First race of the season, first time in MEA, another rookie. Currently running that 13th spot was, I do believe, his teammate FCT Hard. I'm not sure if it was him or Hard who was in that early incident, but one of them had a problem. Both of them representing the FCT brand. Is doing a little grass cutting right there, but no worries. He was able to hang on to the race car. Then we talk about his teammate FCT Hard, and Hard was in the GT Championship Series not long ago. Looks like that would have been Hard that had the damage early in the race. Car looks a little bit beat up. Currently running 14th. And then LAR Rewar. Rewar was in a battle early in this race. I believe the battle between him and Hard right before they had gone a lap down from Barcode. And Rewar part of a new team for him, LAR. Then it's JDMX Culture, part of the XRS team, as RZX JJ Reds gets on by the lap down driver, as XRS represents through JDMX Culture and Fan 2406. And Fan, again, we talked about him earlier in the race, was in the process of moving, tried to get his Wi-Fi to work. It just wouldn't work the way he hoped it would. So looks like Culture's going to be gaining the points for himself and the team today. And that's the thing, we've seen a couple of race teams, even to OTR Anonymous, his teammate Conviction's not here today. That team leads the points, and that's going to change tonight because the RZX team between JJ Reds and RZX Benz, they were right behind him in the point standings. This should put them ahead tonight, or after tonight, give or take. And then rounding out the final car on the track, DNT Rosenquist. Rosenquist getting passed by RZX Benz for the moment. Currently running in the 17th spot. We saw Rosenquist earlier save the race car off the kink as well. One of the places we've seen probably a lot of other drivers have issues. Currently trying to get any position of points at this moment, but we are going through the pit cycle right now, so I'm not sure if they are where they all are supposed to be. Rosenquist had made a previous stop not long ago. And then the last car on the lead, or on the was on the track, was GSC Fab 91. Not really sure what had happened there, but unfortunate circumstances, we'll say that much, as Poping finally goes down into the pits. It looks like Barcode has stayed out on the racetrack for another lap. Or nope, Barcode's already made the pit. My apologies. And Sean's working on trying to get back up there. Let's stay on with Poping for the moment, because Poping, well, wait a minute, where's Diamond Man? Oh, this is going to be close. Maybe not as close as I thought it was, but we got a battle in the making between Diamond Man and Arzium Poping. And Poping had started at the rear of the race field, just like last week. And he's chasing down the man he left with running 5th last week. As Diamond Man's got 14 laps to run and put down some of the best laps he can put down, as Poping's looking to close more and more of that gap in. I don't think Diamond Man's going to have enough laps, you know, to stay in, I wouldn't say stay in front, to at least to have a comfortable gap. This will start breaking down, and we will be here when it happens. So let's take a look at the field again and see what else is going on the racetrack. Doesn't look like much at the moment. Looks like 13th but 14th between FCT Hard and SSR Quinn. is possibly in the making. We'll hop on with Quinn for a moment. Kind of bounce around a little bit. These other drivers we haven't seen a whole lot of today. We just went through the field. And if you're Quinn right now, you know, you probably are going to be okay the rest of the way. As, oh, maybe there is not a battle to make it. Looks like FCT Hard just went into pit road. So Hard will actually be spread out a bit. Looks like ALR Rewar has made a pit stop as well. Believes so. Red Eagle is behind Scarletti. I think Scarletti needs to make a pit stop. Nope, Scarletti does not need to make a pit stop. So I'm not sure who's faster. I know in qualifying Red Eagle outdid Scarletti. And once again, welcome to the MEA Prototype Challenge, round number 2 here at Road America. We've had ourselves a barn burner pretty much throughout the majority of the race. We're finally at a point of the race where the cars are finally spread apart just a bit. We've seen a lot of battling for the 5th spot today, as Poping, who came from the rear of the field, had finally found his way and ended up into a battle with 2 of the RZX drivers and an SSR driver. And that was wild for about 3 laps. ESP Barcode has led every lap in this race so far. I don't think during the pit cycle he... 2 teammates there. What happened there? We're going to throw up cheese signs right now. Not sure what Rosenquist did right there, but these 2 are both on the race team. I have no idea what happened there. If I missed something, someone can correct me, but Rosenquist might have just let Scarletti go by. Got a little bit wider than they'd like. And Eagle did out-qualify Scarletti, so I would assume that Eagle's going to be tracking down Scarletti unless Scarletti started putting down some really wicked laps. So we go back to the front. Diamond 2014, you see just barely there as the screen moves across. Poping not far behind. We got a big fan of barcodes in here today. I see. Kart race. Let's pull up the race map, see how it looks throughout the field again. Right there in the 4th spot, we're riding with Diamond 2014. Barcode has made very little mistakes today, nothing big. Sean, I think, had made 1 mistake, and that's why he had lost so much ground early on. And JJ Reds comfortably away from Twig at the moment. It looks like Neo and Benz are closing in to each other again. These 2 drivers, we just watched not long ago Neo flying off the corner. Not sure if that was a mix of Forza lag, where he just got punted being behind. But these 2, we'll see what happens. I mean, we got a couple of battles that are possibly, you know, in the making. Scarletti and Red Eagle possibly. And Red Eagle starting to get to Rosenquist here. Rosenquist. Trying to get every position they can get. There's Red Eagle here. Will get on by, and Rosenquist with a very scary re-entry there. That was a bit too close for comfort, but at least no one got hurt. That looked pretty bad. We hop back to the RZX boys. Doesn't look like much. And then RZM Poping still trying to close in on Diamond Man. Going through lap traffic right now as Quinn hugs the inside line. Oh boy. Oh! And Poping goes off the racetrack into the grass. It's another questionable decision by the lap down driver. I'm not sure what Quinn was trying to do there. If he was trying to let Poping make the pass and just try to hold the inside line or what. Poping didn't get no damage from it, thankfully. And Quinn will let Poping on by finally there. So I'm not really sure what had happened between Quinn and Poping there. I like to think that it looks like Quinn's just pushing Poping down the front stretch there. So maybe that was just something that had happened and unfolded, and Quinn thought maybe Poping can rip the outside on a very sketchy kink turn. Looks like someone just hit a bunch of stuff all over the racetrack. Seen tires, seen signs. So Poping's going to get away and try to get back on the offensive end of getting to Diamond, as Neo's still working to get to Benz, as it looks like they just both have passed JDMX Culture. So we're getting down to the remaining laps of the race here at Road America. Round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge. ESV Barcode putting them down one at a time. As you see, Red Eagle now go on a lap down in this one. 10 cars remain on the lead lap here in the race. Barcode being flawless today, leading every lap, not looking back. Reminding everybody how good he is. And Sean, we know how good Sean is. Sean's a champion in Inside MEA. He's got a few championships. He's got some good battles with Barcode over the years. Barcode's always been just a little bit better pace-wise than everybody else. And we didn't get to see what had happened to Sean. If he did make some sort of mistake. But if so, it was definitely costly. Let's pull up the ticker here and put the race times on, see how everyone's doing pace-wise as we ride along with Sean for the moment. I'm just gonna start going through the field, hopping on people, taking a joyride there. When you see a little lockup there by OTR Anonymous, gets by lap down driver FCT Corleone, maybe. I'm not sure how to say that name. I do apologize. Then we got Diamond Man, who's been running away from RCM Poping, and honestly, I might have been wrong about this situation with Diamond Man and Poping. Poping has not been creeping into the picture as much as I thought he would. You'd think the way that Poping's been driving, you would probably have been racing Diamond Man at this point. Is not for the moment. So Poping's got some work to do. I mean, the laps are starting to come down. He's got the speed, he's got the pace. He's shown that he's got a strong car and he can get up there and do some battling. But right now, it's been a tough go. These last 5-6 laps, not catching Diamond the way I think he would hope to be doing. This has been the gap for the most part. I mean, it has not changed much, but we'll have to see. RZX JJ Reds, 6th. I'm so confused. Twig is now back in 11th again. Another pit stop was made. Are these guys going to have to make another stop? Not sure. Take a look at Poping. I believe he's the first Mazda. Looks fine. Possibly some damage. I see another car in pit road, however, that is Scarletti. Possibly a situation with Twig. I would assume not. I'm pretty sure Twig's gonna go by no problem, so maybe we are gonna see some more pit stops here from the drivers. It's interesting. I'm not sure. We're down to 8 cars on the lead lap though. Neo did get by Benz for 7th again. Let's check on JJ. 43%. Let's take a lap with JJ Reds, ladies and gentlemen. See how the fuel, because there should only be one mandatory stop in this race, but maybe not. So we're gonna start 42%. The lap has begun for the Jag driver at the moment. The FCT corner, Leon, or Leon. I'm sure somebody will correct that eventually. As we ride with JJ Reds, once again, we're taking an eye look on the fuel percentage. We started with 42% exactly at the start-finish line. Looks like Corleone is putting weird pressure on JJ. He is a lap down. Not sure if he's got better pace and just been inconsistent majority of this race. Corleone on the outside of JJ Reds, the lap down driver, putting all sorts of pressure on the lead lap car. Not sure if JJ was ready for that at all. It looked like JJ was like, whoa. Well, he got to his door. Put this back up for everybody watching here. So far 3% loss in the Jag, at least for JJ. Remember, every driver, though each car has the exact same setup for its particular week. Ooh, it might be transmission damage there. 37, so about 4% a lap. So 4% a lap in the Jag. So I don't know. I mean, it should be. I feel they should be fine. This barcode looks to put down RZX Neo. He's gonna Put down all these cars here. Lapping a good portion of the field. We started with 18 on the track. We're down to 17 drivers after the DC by Fab 91. Fab having a tough day in the office. Barcode just trying to not push Neo out of the way. Neo's going to get out of the way for Barcode. No problem. Barcode runs away pretty much with this race. Sean's done a lot of work to stay relatively close. But it looks like this is going to be the finish they should have had last week. But last week came with a lot of unexpected late race situations. I mean, Barca with the damage, having to take a late pit stop. And Sean had all the types of issues early in that race. Anonymous, who was in the mix with Sean, I think, for a little bit. He was also battling with GT Shrek, who's not with us today. Currently running third here again tonight. Diamond Man still running fourth. And Poping is starting to close the gap more. You see JDMX Culture there in the 15th spot. And JJ's in the middle of lap down cars right now. SSR Quinn and FCT Corleone. Since Corleone's still on JJ. If I was JJ and Corleone is a little bit faster than me, I'd probably just let the lap car go because, you know, you don't want to get too much in this battle. And this battle might be more than just that, as Quinn goes off the racetrack. I was just hopping on with Quinn to see the battle between him and FCT, and well, FCT didn't have to do a lot of work there. He said, no problem. I'll just take that position as it comes. And then RZX Neo, who just went down a lap not long ago from ESV Barcode. RZX Benz, not too far behind. And then SSR Red Eagle. He's pretty much been running around 9th, 10th all day. I think 9th, 10th, and 11th pretty much. It's pretty much been consistent. His teammate SSR Twig, who was battling in the top 5, and a couple of issues came his way, and now outside beyond the top 5, the last spot in the top 10 in front of Scarletti, who made a pit stop not long ago. Then we've seen FCT Corleone, we've seen Quinn Hard, who's back there in 14th by himself after early issues. Saul Culture. VNT Rosenquist in the grass again for the moment, 16th. LER Rewar, 17th. So let's watch the leader for a moment. So only one more lap to go. Barcode has pretty much checked out, made his flight arrangements for the next race, and everybody else, though Diamond Man is getting closed in on. Let's hop on with Poping and see how Poping's racing, because everybody else is pretty much spread it out. So hop on with Poping. We're getting an onboard camera view with Poping, and we'll see how he starts closing in the gap on Diamond Man. So what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Poping, it looks like he's been clinching a little bit more and more and more here. Can he get the job done? And the doors, the payday window's open. It looks like there's a lap car in front of Diamond Man. Could that be a factor? Possibly. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go for ESV Barcode. Poping, who is closing in that door, will hop back on that battle here in a moment as we remain with Barcode for a couple moments. Well, you see the difference where they are. Well, they're catching up to a lot of traffic, actually. That's 10th and 11th between Twig and Scarletti. So we got 2 battles back starting up. Alright, so we'll hop back on with Barcode in a moment. Let's hop on. White flag for these guys and gals now. As everyone here is just trying to get as much as they can. Diamond trying to hang on for 4th place. Scarletti trying to track down Twig. Poping trying to track down Diamond. Diamond hoping that the lap traffic won't get in their way. Barcode with only a couple of turns to go. And for the first time this season, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to have a championship battle in the making as ESV Barcode is going to win at Road America. And that should put him tied with RZM Sean, who's now making his way around to finish in 2nd place. We're going to just hang on with him for that moment. And then OTR Anonymous should finish 3rd unless he has catastrophic damage here at some point at the end. Let's hop back onto the 4th place battle as Diamond Man, sorry to Anonymous, but we got ourselves a pretty close one here between 2 different battles with lap down cars, lead lap cars. Poping trying to close the gap on Diamond Man, only a half track still to go and not a lot of places to make up time. Poping, who had to start at the tail of the field for missing qualifying, has found himself in position for one more spot. This was where it was last week. Diamond Man was able to hang on because of how big of the gap they had at Le Mans. Diamond Man coming around the corner. He's got traffic in front of him. Poping gets to the outside. Twig's going to stay in front of Scarletti. They're going to go around one more time as well. And Diamond Man's going to hang on for 4th place. Poping will take home 5th. So good job by Diamond Man as Poping gave a heck of an effort there at the end of this one to try to beat Diamond Man to the line. Just the traffic did not play as big of a factor as I would assume Poping would hope it would have been. Once again, post-race interviews as always here at MEA following this race. The top 5. RZX JJ Reds will bring that thing home 6th. RZX Neo, a way better week than last week. I'm sure he's much happier because Le Mans was definitely not the way he wanted to start his rookie campaign. He gets almost into that wall there. Should finish 7th, and RZX Benz has seen his fair share of battles. The top 10 for Benz today. SSR Red Eagle has been pretty consistent all race. Should be bringing the red machine home 9th. Twig, I know Twig. I know how he was talking before the race. He's currently 10th, still running away from Scarletti, who's 11th. Will stay on this for the moment as Scarletti trying to track down Twig. And Twig expected a lot better of a result. I'm sure after the race I'm going to hear about it. But, you know, it be like that sometimes. But Twig should hang on and bring that thing home 10th. Scarletti, they're going to bring home an 11th place finish. And no mistakes there, so Scarletti gave it everything they had at the end, just not enough. His top 10 goes to Twig, 11th Scarletti, and then further behind in 12th, it's FCT Corleone or Corleone. I'm saying that only because I'm not sure which way is the correct way to say it. First time this season, this last week. Bring home a nice 12th place finish. A good way to start your campaign, even though you're a race behind. And then behind the FCT drivers, another SSR driver, that's Quinn. Quinn probably feels a little bit better with this result than last week as well. FCT Hard also missed last week. FCT, both drivers, both teammates missed the first race of the season. Unfortunately, Hard had some things going on, and I'm not sure what happened to Corleone, but we'll bring that home 14th. 15, JDMX Culture, pretty much where he's been all race. Just trying to get those points, and then also add on for the team points. And probably not the result he was hoping to get, as Fan was not able to make the race today, but and there goes the timer, so that'll wrap it up here for round number 2 of the MEA Prototype Challenge here at MEA. Once again, stay tuned for post-race interviews coming up next. So we're going to get the drivers in here for post-race interviews in just a moment. Yeah, we're going to get Poping, Diamond Man. We're going to get everybody. Heck, why don't we just do the whole field? It'd be exciting that way, huh? So let's get, we'll get Barco, we get both RZM drivers. Then we're going to get also Anonymous. And then we'll get Diamond Man as well. And once again, we'll make sure that all of our drivers have their audio checked off. I know last week Sean's came on late for some weird reason, but you know, it all pans out eventually. So we got all 5 drivers invited to the broadcast party, and just in one moment we'll be having an interview with those top 5 drivers. What a race, ladies and gentlemen. We had a lot of battles for the first portion of the race, and then kind of through the midway point around the last portion of the race was when it kind of got spread out. And then right there at the end we had about 2 or 3 battles looking like they were going to be formed, but it ended up not happening. And both those drivers we talked about, you know, we're talking about Scarletti and Poping. They both were tracking down the driver in front and just didn't have enough laps to get there. We are waiting for RZM Sean still to get in party, so just wait a moment here. For the drivers that have just joined the party chat, just make sure that your party check mark is checked off in the party settings so that everyone will be able to hear your wonderful voices. And then we will get Sean in here rather soon. Not sure if Sean's getting the invite. We'll open the party up for Sean. Maybe he just can't get in. He's always showing offline. Well, we'll start the interviews without Sean for the moment. Yeah, okay, he wanted the party open, so hold on a second. Yep. Alright, so we got everybody here. I figured that was the issue, and then Sean, just like everybody else, just make sure that your party check mark is checked off. We're going to start with 5th place finisher, RZM Poping. And Poping, that was a really fun race to watch from your point of view today. We got quite a bit of you throughout the race, especially when you got closer to the top 5. You missed qualifying. You had to start way in the back today. Another solid performance from you. And take us through that first big battle. You were battling with SSR Twig, RZX JJ Reds, RZX Neo. Those guys were battling back and forth through a major portion of that race, and then you showed up, and just for 2 or 3 laps straight, it seemed like it was very chaotic. Take us through that.
Yeah, they're a bit slower, so it was a bit hard to drive with them. So yeah, I was trying to be safe, and passing them at the same time was kind of hard.
Well, and then it was funny because at the moment that Twig went off the racetrack, you had a ton of momentum coming out of that kink. Twig got loose. Neo was kind of got out of sorts. JJ wasn't making a good run. You had a huge run, and then JJ just fought right back, and you went right back to work with him. Eventually, you were able to get away from those guys, but then you had to track down Diamond Man, who was the man you were chasing last week. It seemed like you just needed one more lap.
Yeah, just one more. I'm sure it would have been enough, but unfortunately it did not happen.
Now, when you saw the lap down cars there at the end, Scarletti and SSR Twig, were you hoping that those cars were going to start playing a little bit of a factor? Because they were also in their own battle in front of you guys.
I mean, it's not cool when you're slow, when you're not slow car, but a lap car slowing you. So I don't want this to happen to people. So yeah.
Well, I feel like you're one of the few that feel that way. But congratulations, Poping. Another strong performance. Top 5 for you. We know that there's still 4 weeks left to go in the championship. Hopefully we can make qualifying and make it better so you don't have to start at the back of the field. But congratulations on a top 5 finish today.
Thank you.
RZM Poping, ladies and gentlemen, 5th overall. We're going to move up to Diamond Man 2014, another top 5 for him. Diamond Man, it seems like everything's finally, from my point of view, finally has come together where we talked about your progression, your consistency. Here you are again today, qualifying very well. Early race battles kind of got spread out. You didn't really have a lot going on. It seemed like the top 4 cars kind of did their own thing. And then there at the end, you have Poping starting to track you down, and it seemed like after the pit stop, it kind of halted on the attack from Poping. It seemed like you were able to maintain the gap quite a bit, and then just the last few laps, it looked like Poping really just started putting down some good times. Not really sure if you made any mistakes, but take us through the end there, because you were by yourself a lot of that race, and all of a sudden, he was out of nowhere.
Yeah, he was came out of nowhere. Started dead last, and it's impressive he got 5th place at the end of it. So, my guess is he probably held back or something. I don't know. Anyway, he definitely gained time in the last 5 laps. He is very fast. I'd say it's luck I held 4th.
Yeah, you you were able to maintain fourth for quite a bit. The pit stops happened. The gap really didn't get shaken up to the last handful of laps, but another top 5 for you. What do you take from this? The first 2 races of the season, top 5s for both of them, able to hang on and just be as consistent as you can. What's been the recipe for success?
Luck.
Okay. We'll take that. I don't know how else to that was a good answer. Well, you just can't give yourself credit, can you? All right, well, we'll just take that. We'll take it to the bank. But, Diamond, really have been putting on good performances lately. Congratulations on another top 5. And I hope that your luck is continues to go well for you. So congratulations on a top 5 spot.
I bet we'll run out soon, but yeah, it was nice.
And that was Diamond 2014, ladies and gentlemen, 4th overall. We're going to move up to OTR Anonymous. And Anonymous, welcome back. It's 2 weeks in a row, rookie debuts. I know you're not a stranger to the community, but we know that you're new to MEA, so we're calling you a rookie right now. But that being said, 3rd this week. I believe you finished 3rd last week as well. Not a lot happened for you today. Give us your thoughts on the race. I mean, you pretty much were by yourself. Obviously you had to go through some lap traffic, but take us through really if there was any issues for you early on in the race and just kind of how your race ended up going.
Well, my only issues really were myself not being too consistent or making a few mistakes. I got scared twice by Rosenquist almost taking himself out just in front of me in the last sector. But that's basically the only thing that happened. I knew from even practice that I was quicker than Diamond Man by at least half a second. So I just knew I was not going to catch Sean or Barcode. It's just a no-go. Both are too quick and too consistent. Even if I had consistency, I didn't have the pace. I did have a quicker pace than Poping, so I think even if he did qualifying, I might have been able to stay ahead of him. But that's about it. Really a race like to flag pretty much alone from turn 2 to, well, the checker flag.
And you talk about pace. You seem to have a lot of consistency out there. We know that we've seen Rosenquist come across the Eagle at one point where the re-entry was kind of scary, so I'm sure that was a moment to be terrified. But how, for you, what's the main focus going on to the next 4 weeks? How do you improve yourself from where you are? You've already shown that you got some pretty good pace. Where do you go from here?
Honestly, because of the 2 that are ahead, what I'm trying is really consolidate that 3rd position, because I would be pretty reliant on luck to get any better positioning than that. So yeah, it's just keeping that 3rd position and staying consistent in there at least.
Well, nonetheless, congratulations on another top 5 finish and your pursuit for 3rd again today.
Thank you.
OTR Anonymous, ladies and gentlemen, 3rd overall, 2 weeks in a row. Good spots for the new guy. And we're going to move on to last week's winner, not this week's winner, RZM Sean. And Sean, now the settle's scored 1 for, well, you both got 1 for 1 between 2 weeks. And you guys are tied going into the championship next week. But another race for you. It seemed like you were able to maintain pace with Barcode for a good portion of that race. And then when we look back, you kind of lost some ground. Was a mistake made again today that kind of cost you some time?
I mean, probably partially. I had incident with traffic. I should have maybe been more careful and sort of expected, the pace different corners and what have you. But yeah, I think the first few laps, I don't know if Buckard was struggling a little. It looked like he went wide on a few corners, which sort of allowed me to stay in the draft and challenge for a little bit. But once I made a mistake and sort of lost the draft, he probably put a few 100 feet on me per lap from then on.
And Sean, you talk about lap traffic. What was lap traffic like today for you? We know it was different for everybody, but you're the man trying to track down the race leader and not worrying about really anybody coming from behind. It's got to be a little frustrating when ground's being lost and mistakes are being made because you're trying to get through the field.
Yeah, it was, but I was frustrated with my pace anyway. I wasn't driving the best I could. I wasn't really on pace with Barcode in the first place, but I was just in my head sort of frustrated that I wasn't doing the lap times that I felt like I should have been anyway.
When you see a guy like that you look up and says, "Yeah, that's the guy to beat," and he's struggling in front of you, and you're frustrated at yourself because you feel like you have more pace, is it kind of one of those moments like, man, I could have put myself in position because I know I could have done better. He's struggling. I could have maybe played a little defense if I had enough, pace, because some of these cars are better on the straight line than others. And does that ever go through your head because of that, or?
Yeah, I think if I was able to, drive really well in the start, I could have maybe challenged for position, and if I'd gotten it, I could control the pace better, and sort of I would be on the defense for a lot of the race, but I could maybe hold on. It is a long race, though, so eventually I think maybe I would have given it up in the end, but you never know.
Being on the offensive end compared to being on the defensive end, those are two different mentalities for a driver. And it seems like it's a little bit more of a pain when you're trying to get to the guy, but once you get in front of the guy, you just got to hold those lines and keep the pace without making any big mistakes. So I can understand that. But a second place finish to a guy that it's never bad to finish behind the man in front, but we always know you want to do more. What's the focus for you now? You guys are tied in the championship, still 4 races to go. What's the mentality for you going in these last 4 weeks?
Yeah, I think Spa's next on the calendar. It's not a track I'm very familiar with, if I'm honest. I haven't raced around there a lot. It's definitely one of my weaker tracks. I'm just gonna try and do what I can. I think I'm always gonna be sort of fighting an uphill battle throughout the season, but no, maybe Barcode has a bad week or two, and I can sort of challenge for wins again.
Well, nonetheless, second overall today. Good race for you. Another top 5 for you in your campaign this season, and we obviously look forward to seeing you in the weeks to come. So congratulations.
Thank you.
And that was RZM Sean, ladies and gentlemen, second overall to today's race. And the man of the hour, ESV Barcode. And Barcode, well, it didn't happen last week. Some unfortunate circumstances ended up taking that away from you. But here you were this week. No, it didn't look like you had any troubles whatsoever, and you were able to get the win.
Yeah, I mean, generally it was pretty trouble-free. There was some moments with back markers that were a little off, but generally I was pretty in control of it this time round.
And what was the biggest challenges for you today? I mean, I know that you didn't really have to worry about too much from the backside, from playing defense throughout the race. But early on in the race, I mean, as well, as he said, it felt like you were making some mistakes. Were you having some troubles early on in this race?
I was just kind of trying to settle into a rhythm, just kind of find some braking points and try to get out the dirt, because it does affect this car quite badly the closer you get to them. So just kind of getting used to that while he was behind me.
And we look towards the next 4 weeks for you as well. Spa's up next. And the last time I remember Spa, you were racing in the Manufacturers Challenge. You got into a wreck with one of the opposing drivers from another class. You had to pit, had to fight your way back up through the field. What's Spa looking like for you this time around without an extra class or two in the mix?
It should hopefully be more chill, but at the same time I expect the field spread to be bigger there, as it's a challenging track, especially in these cars. And I'm not particularly fond of this track anyway, on this game at least.
And so you'd say this is probably going to be is this the one track on the schedule you feel like you might not have the edge as you might want to have compared to others?
Yeah, I'd say this is probably going to be the worst one for me, and then Monza. The rest I'm pretty familiar with, especially the last one.
Well, we obviously know you got a lot of pace, and it's going to be a great way to see how you and Sean and the other drivers compete for the championship. There's still a lot on the line, but congratulations on getting your first win of the season tonight, and look forward to talking to you hopefully next week.
Yeah, thank you.
That was ESV Barcode, ladies and gentlemen, the winner of today's race. Once again, your top 5 looks like this. It's ESV Barcode taking the win. Behind him would be RZM Sean. OTR Nominus would finish in that 3rd spot with Diamond 2014 in 4th. And then the guy that came from way back in the field, the RZM Poping, will finish 5th. You also had RZX JJ Reds, who was in a heated battle all day long for the most part, taking 6th. RZX Neo 7th. 8th will be RZX Benz, 9th SSR Red Eagle, and rounding out the top 10 will be SSR Twig. It was a good one here today at Road America. Round number 3 will be back at action, same time, same place next week as we head. Let me take. Oh, we're going to Spa. What am I talking about? We're going to Spa. For a moment, I didn't remember where we were going. We're going to Spa. It's going to be another challenging course. And once again, I'm SSR Mayhem, bringing today's action here at MEA. Thanks for watching. Until next time, we'll see you at Spa next week at 5:30 p.m. or 10:30 if you're overseas, depending on your time period. Have a great night, everyone.